Greetings, everyone! Well, last time we finally wrapped up our look at my PS2 collection. This time around, we're starting in on the PS3 collection, but to sort of bridge the gap and pass the torch, as it were, from the PS2 to PS3, I thought a good place to start would be my collection of PS2 games that have been upgraded to HD and re-released on the PS3. I'll have to find some way to summarize that in the title, so it'll all fit in the title bar up there. But yeah, so PS2 games upgraded to HD on the PS3 today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Alrighty, yeah, so as you know, I'm a huge fan of PS2 games, so when I saw that they were starting to put out collections of them upgraded to high definition, I just jumped all over that, man. I was like, wow, to play these great classic PS2 games in high def? Hell yeah, sign me up. And for the most part, the results have been pretty damn nice, I have to say. I mean, these games have never looked better, and just a great idea. I wish we had more of them, to be honest. And the nice thing about a lot of these collections is most of them have 2 or 3 games in them, so you're spending maybe $15-20, and you're getting 3 great classic games looking better than ever before, and just fantastic. So let's take a closer look at the various ones that I have. I've got nearly all the ones that I know of that they've released, actually. There's only a couple that I haven't picked up yet, and maybe we'll touch on those a little bit as we go. Yeah, so let's get right to it. Alrighty, here we go. So, there have been quite a lot of big notable PS2 games to get lovely high-definition upgrades on the PS3, and I've got a good chunk of them. There's really only a handful that I'm missing, but I've got all the big ones that I was after anyway. So, first off, we'll take a look. Got the Jak and Daxter Trilogy collection. Very cool. I actually played through this entire set on Twitch. You can see my playthrough of the first one over on Twitch. Alas, when they changed their how videos are saved system, it wiped them all out except for the first one. But I may repost those at some point. They are archived. But yeah, needless to say, I mean, for the most part, all of these look great in high definition. So in a lot of cases, they have. In this case, they used the actual in-game engine for the cinematics, so even the cinematic sequences look terrific in this. Very wise of them to do that, because then it doesn't become dated. It gives it a consistency across all the visuals. So that's pretty cool. So very, very nice. You get a beautiful widescreen, expansive view of the environments and such. Jak 2 and Jak 3, of course, for the most, well, actually all 3 of them really are pretty much free roaming. You just have to unlock different areas and stuff, and you can explore around. And I just love this series so much. It's got a great ongoing story, and yeah, just really, really fun, really solid platforming action games. And of course, just for completion's sake, I actually do have, as you know, all 3 of the originals on PlayStation 2 as well, which I keep for the lovely packaging and the inserts. You can take a look at my third-person platformers overview from the PS2 overview to check out a closer look at those. Alright, so next up, continuing on with platforming goodness, we have Ratchet and Clank. Yes, so this is the original 3 games. We got Ratchet and Clank, Going Commando, and Up Your Arsenal. Now, I should mention, some of you may be wondering, well, what about Deadlocked, Ratchet Deadlocked, the one that's all arena combat? That one is available in high definition, but only on PSN. For whatever reason, they didn't put it on the disc. It's not like they didn't have space, but I guess just to get a little bit more money from us. But yeah, so you can get Ratchet Deadlocked on PSN, and it doesn't seem to have instructions with it. Alrighty then. Well, so much for that. So I can't show you any instructions. Anyway, once again, this one I believe also used Or no, actually, I think some of the cinematics are pre-rendered in this. So, yeah, anytime the cinematics are pre-rendered, you're basically looking at upconverts because they're not going to go back and re-render the whole damn thing. It's really just about upgrading the game itself. So in this case, yeah, I believe some of the, if I remember correctly, some of the cinematics are pre-rendered, so they're just upconverts. The game itself, though, much like Jak and Daxter, looks absolutely gorgeous in high definition, especially for things like this, where there's these vivid, detailed, living, breathing, interactive worlds that you're on, these sort of sci-fi fantasy settings. Really helps to bring them to life, see all that extra detail. And then next up, we have the Sly collection. Oh, I should mention... Hold on a second. Hold on! I do have the original Ratchet and Clank games on PS2 as well. And once again, you can check those out in the third-person platformer section if you want a closer look at all of them. So, very, very nice. Very nice indeed. I also have Secret Agent Clank, which was a PSP game that was converted to the PS2. Alas, we do not have a high-def upgraded version of that. I really wish they would do that. And similarly with Jak and Daxter, there was one just called Daxter, which sadly we do not have a high-def upgraded version of it. You can get the PSP versions on PSN, but it's great unless you don't have a PSP. I'm sure it wouldn't take too much to make them playable on the PS3. I wish they would do that. Yeah, so then we have the Sly collection. So we got Sly Cooper and the Thieves Raccoonus, Sly 2, Band of Thieves, and Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. Now, you may notice, 3D, PlayStation Move, they've gone the whole 9 yards with these. Not only are they beautifully upgraded in high definition, but you can play them in 3D. And this particular one is also compatible with the PlayStation Move. So, pretty cool stuff. Gotta love Sly Cooper and the lovely cel-shaded action. Sly Cooper always kind of reminded me of Lupin. Like, if Lupin was a raccoon... Actually, well, honestly, Lupin's a little bit less competent, I think. He's more kind of a bumbler, whereas Sly Cooper is a little bit more, has his shit together. But yeah, really good stuff. But same kind of idea, sort of the gentleman thief, as it were. Very good indeed. And then in terms of what I have on PS2, I just have the first two on PS2. I never got around to picking up the third one. But, yeah, really cool. And one thing I should mention, actually, one of the really cool unlockable extras on this was you could actually get commentary tracks. Yeah. So you could have a commentary track from the developers as you're going through a level, and they'll talk about, the process of designing the level and little Easter eggs and stuff like that. Really cool extra. But for whatever reason, it's not on this. Why? It can't have taken up that much space. I mean, the game code was already there. You're just upconverting the graphics to, higher resolution. Why couldn't you include the commentaries? I don't understand that. So that's very disappointing that was not included, because I thought that was a really cool unlockable, actually, that you could get. I mean, how often do you get running commentary with a video game? I don't know. Next up, I used to have one of these on PS2, but I actually sold it when I found out that they were doing a high-def version. So I figured, oh, well, it's valuable now. I better sell it now, and I'll get the high-def upgrade when it comes out. We've got Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, very, very cool. I have played all the way through Eco before. It's a great game, beautiful, gorgeous graphics, and both of these actually really pushed the limits of what the PS2 could do graphically. I mean, they looked gorgeous on the PS2, and Eco, as I recall, was a fairly early PS2 game, so it was already really taking advantage of the what it could do. But upgraded into high def, oh my god, even better. Like, the gorgeousness just knows no bounds. And then Shadow of the Colossus I never had on PS2. I always meant to pick it up, but I have played a little bit of it on this, and I can definitely see why people were raving about it. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous game. So Eco is more puzzle-oriented. Puzzle and platforming. Shadow of the Colossus is more action, like platforming and action. So very, very cool. I highly recommend you get these games just because they're amazing. So very, very nice. So I don't have the PS2 version of Eco anymore. I sold it when it was at its peak collector's value. Don't remember what I got for it, honestly, but I'm sure it was decent. Probably about $40, something like that, maybe 50. I don't know. Yeah, but very, very nice. Very nice indeed. So check that out. Okay. And this one, I honestly can't remember if that has pre-rendered cinematics. I think they might be in-game. Sorry about that. My SD card filled up. All right, next up we have a pair of releases, starting with the God of War Origins Collection. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. These two used to be PSP games, and then they upgraded them to high definition for the PS3, and they look terrific. So my question is, if they could do that with these, and they've obviously sold quite well, I see them around all the time, why couldn't they do it with Daxter and Secret Agent Clank? And other PSP games for that matter. There's a lot of great PSP games out there that just seem to be getting neglected. Like, come on, let's get some of that shit going on. Put out like a big collection of them or something. It can't be that hard to just upgrade the resolution to 720p. I mean, geez, man. And then next up, of course, we have the God of War collection, which actually came out before this in terms of release. But the God of War collection, which has the original first two God of War games in glorious high definition. Now, this one is all pre-rendered cinematics, so they're a little fuzzy because they're upconverts. But the in-game graphics look fantastic. And as far as I know, all the extras from the games have been ported over, so you got like behind-the-scenes stuff and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So we'll just take a quick peek here. Not much to see in terms of the manuals and whatnot, I think. Now, there is a God of War collection that you can get that has 1, 2, 3, and Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta. So it's like a 5-game set. However, I believe these ones are only available as downloads. So the only way you can get them on disc is to have this. And I definitely prefer to have them on disc when I can. And then, yeah, here. I don't know, it almost seems like they printed these a little bit dark, doesn't it? Like a little too dark? I don't know. Anyway, this is actually a reacquisition. I used to have this collection before, and then sold it, and then reacquired it, and I could have sworn it wasn't that dark originally. So very nice. Got Kratos there. Oh my god, a full-color manual. Holy shit, we don't see that very often on the PS3. Check that out. That is amazing. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, and then the French version, of course. Yeah, so if you love Greek mythology, if you just love good old-fashioned hack and slash action, get the God of War games. You will not be disappointed. They are fantastic. Really, really fantastic. They're kind of button mashers, and some people don't like that, but whatever. I mean, I don't care. They've got a great story, great graphics, and just really, really epic. And if you're a fan of, as I say, Greek mythology, how can you go wrong? You get to fight the gods, you get to fight every monster you could ever think of from Greek mythology. Harry Hamlin, who played Perseus in the original Clash of the Titans, reprises his role as Perseus in God of War 2, and you get to fight him. I mean, it's awesome. So next up, we have the Prince of Persia trilogy. So this is the original classic trilogy from the PS2, remastered in high definition. So we've got, what is it, Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and the Two Thrones. So there you go. You can also get these as downloads on PSN individually. Honestly, I think it's actually cheaper to get the disc, funny enough. But yeah, so I actually missed out on these when they were on the PS2. I really wanted to check them out. I heard good things about them. I really liked the original Prince of Persia back in the 90s. There is a high-def upgraded version of the original on PSN, which I do have, and it's awesome. And there's, of course, 2 PS3 Prince of Persia games as well, which I also have. So very cool. Get your Prince of Persia on. And I've heard the movie is terrible, by the way, so nobody go watch the movie. Next up, we have Devil May Cry, the HD Classics HD. Wait a minute, Classics HD Devil May Cry HD collection. So double HD action. Yeah. So this has Devil May Cry 2, and Devil May Cry 3, the special edition, and all really well done. Now, to this day, I still have never managed to finish Devil May Cry 1, so I still have not played Devil May Cry 2 and 3, because I'm kind of a stickler about playing games in order, and watching movies in order, and watching TV shows in order. I'm just basically experiencing everything in order. But, yeah, one of these days I will tackle it on Twitch, and we will bear down and try to get through the first one, and then tackle the others. But really, really good. Gotta love Dante, one of the all-time great badass cool guy characters. Really solid gameplay in this. It's a mixture of hack and slash action and platforming with some gothic horror elements. Just great stuff. And where is it here? Hold on a second. I'm just looking. Gotta find. Hold on. Don't mind all the chaos in the background. You know you'll love it. Hold on. Where is it? How did I miss these? Tried to pull everything out beforehand, but alright, so on the PS2 I actually do have the first two. I never actually picked up the third one. I always intended to pick up the greatest hits version of the third one because that was the special edition, but obviously never did. If you want a closer look at those, check out the horror games section of my PS2 overview. Yeah, so check that out. Very cool stuff. Alright, next up, we get some first-person shooter action with the Killzone Trilogy. Yeah, so this is the first three Killzone games. Now, 2 and 3 were always on the PS3, so no big whoop there. It's just putting them into a collection. But the big deal was it has the first Killzone upgraded into high definition. Now, at the time of this video, I'm in the process of doing a complete playthrough of the trilogy. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the first one. So be sure to check that out if you want to see how Killzone looks in high def and see how much I suck at it. So, yeah, good times. Not much to say about this. I mean, it's Killzone. It's just some awesome sci-fi shooter action with no manual, apparently. So that's great. But whatever. You know what you need to know. I mean, you got in, you shoot stuff, you save the world. There you go. Alright, so next up we have the Splinter Cell Trilogy. Getting into some stealth action here. So we got Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. So that's the originals from the PS2. Of those, I have the first one on PS2. I never actually got around to collect. I just started collecting these on PS2, trying to track them down when they announced the HD Trilogy coming out. I was like, oh, well, I'll just get that then. And yeah, I did do a partial playthrough of the first one back when I first got it, and boy, did I ever suck. Again, that was on Twitch and has vanished, but it is archived, so I will repost it in some capacity at some point. So we get, pretty decent manual there, character profiles and stuff like that. Very, very nice. I should mention, just for completion's sake, I do also have Double Agent on the PS3. I mention it because I also have the PS2 version, which apparently is quite a considerably different game from what people tell me. So, got lots of Splinter Cell action going on there. Alright, next up we have the Hitman HD Trilogy. So this is all three of the games that appeared on consoles, two previous gens ago consoles. So we got Hitman 2, Hitman Contracts, and Hitman Blood Money. Very cool stuff. And of those, I actually have all three on the PS2. I had collected them a while back, intending to play them. Played a bit of the second one, thought it was really cool, and just never really got much farther into it. I guess I just got kind of sidetracked with other games. Very cool. Here we got this nice sort of stylized rendition of Agent 47. Very nice indeed. And there you go. So you gotta love some stealth action with Agent 47, and of course I do also have Hitman Absolution, which is the PS3 sequel, PS3 generation sequel. All right, I'm getting quite a stack here. All right, last but most definitely not least, we have the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection. Yes, the Metal Gear Solid games are the ones that got me into the stealth genre. I just love the continuing adventures of Solid Snake and the gang. Great stuff. Funny enough, to this date, I still have only really played through the first two Metal Gear Solid games. Yeah, and I've played through both of them several times. I really enjoyed them a lot and really love the story in them. So this is about as complete a collection as you can get. Everything up to Metal Gear Rising, or like prior to Metal Gear Rising. So you got the original Metal Gear, you got Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, you got Metal Gear Solid VR missions, Metal Gear Solid Substance version, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence version, and then Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. And you've also got Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, which was a PSP game, but has been upgraded to high def for this. So again, another PSP game makes its way onto the PS3. Come on, where's the rest of them, guys? There's so many PSP games out there that could get PS3 upgrades. Let's make it happen. So, yeah, basically, long and the short of it is, you know, the original games are basically just, you know, looking all 8-bit like they usually do. But Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 have been given very lovely high-def upgrades. And the nice thing about the Metal Gear games is, Metal Gear Solid games, is they've always used the in-game engine for their cinematics. In fact, you can use the controller to kind of zoom and pan around during the cinematics and check out some, you know, a little bit more detail and whatnot. So very cool stuff. So definitely going to do like an epic playthrough of the Metal Gear saga at some point, at least of the Metal Gear Solid series. I don't know if I'm going to really do much with the first two. It's nice to have them. I might play them a bit just to try them out. I have played the first one a little bit and found it really hard, but yeah. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. So the other, I guess the other ones I need to pick up are Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5, which is the Kingdom Hearts Remix HD versions. I've been told that they're really good. And they also have Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X2. I've got Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 as PS1 downloads from the PSN. So yeah, I'll probably pick up that one as well. And that's pretty much it. I mean, for the most part, those are all of them that have had, all the PS2 games that have had high def upgrades. I mean, that's quite a sizable stack of you know, last generation games that have been brought up to date. And they also just show like just how good the gameplay is on these. I mean, this really is the creme de la creme of PS2 games. Like, I don't think you'll be disappointed with any of these collections. This is just a lot of hours of entertainment, and you can often find the collections fairly cheap, sometimes as low as like $15-20, and you're getting sometimes 2 or 3 games in most of them. So well, you are getting 2 or 3 games in most of them, so yeah, check it out. Good stuff. PS2 on the PS3 in glorious high definition. So there you go. Quite a stack of classic games brought full force into the high definition era. Yeah, very cool. Not only that they've been upgraded to high def, a lot of them have also been, you know, you can play them in 3D and just all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, they've really gone all out with these. And any one of these collections you can feel very safe about getting, because they are all extremely, extremely well done, and you will not be disappointed if you are a fan of the standard def originals like I am. Just before we go, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of my Patreon sponsors. Thanks, Patreon sponsors. You guys and gals are awesome. Special extra big thanks to my 2 current highest level sponsors, namely Kyle Pellegrini and Get Your Gorgeous On, which is an awesome e-mag written and maintained by the equally awesome duo of Michelle O'Toole and Simon Hedger. So check that out when you get a chance. Yeah, and big thanks to everyone else as well. So please do consider becoming a Patreon sponsor, because every little bit helps, even if it's just $1 or $5 or $2 or whatever. It all goes right back into the show in the form of equipment upgrades, picking up new games to review and play on Twitch for your amusement, all kinds of good stuff like that. It all goes right back into the show, so every little bit helps. Alrighty, that is it for me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. Don't know why my eyes went kind of googly when I did sayonara. I was looking at the screen instead of at the camera. I was looking at the screen instead of the camera.